Favorite trainer with a belt buckle, helping you level up your career as a personal trainer in 2026, better assessing your clients. Now, the real answer is, how do you assess someone? It depends. If you're working at Equinox, you got to do the FMS. If you're working at Crunch, they may have you do the overhead squat assessment. Whatever the gym wants, you have to do that. Now, if you're independent, it depends. Is the client general pop? Do they have pain? Are they an athlete? My assessment process depends on the individual. But if they go to your website and fill out an inquiry form, or you meet with them in person for the first time, you're going to sit down for a good 15 to 20 minutes. You need to be prepared and professional. Imagine you go to a restaurant and it's a dump. Do you think people are going to want to go in there? But if they were referred because the food is amazing, that's a different story. It always depends. You don't have to have giant biceps to be a successful trainer. You need to have a great book of business, have those people skills, the business skills, and the technical skills. Probably didn't learn that in a textbook certification. That's why we created ours. And with this system right here, the STM, which is soft tissue mobilization course that we teach, you will learn how to assess and close at a higher rate. You need to be professional. Smile. Your hat isn't going to be backwards. It's going to be forward. You're going to have a polo on. You're going to be there at least a half hour early to make sure everything looks amazing. Is it clean? Are there tampons and shit stains in the toilet? That doesn't look good. Those little things are going to leave a bad impression on your client. 5 P's of marketing: product, place, price, promotion, and parking. Because if your clients can't find parking, they're not going to keep on showing up. So this is where you need to set the clear expectations of where you're at and what it's going to look like. So when they come in, you smile, you greet them with a handshake, your breath doesn't smell like shit, you don't have BO, you're not wearing a tank top, you are a professional. Set clear expectations for what the assessment process looks like. Today, we're going to be going over your movement, your goals, and I'm going to give you a little demo of what personal training is like. If you're at Equinox, you got 2 Equifits, 1 and 2. Today, we're going to sit down the entire hour and talk about your goals, and the next time you come in, we'll go through a workout. Setting clear expectations is really, really important. Imagine going to a Mexican restaurant and all of a sudden they bring out pizza. You're going to be pissed off. You need to set those clear expectations. I cannot say that enough. That's how you're going to be successful when you go through this process. So you talk to them about their goals. It's a discovery process during the PAR-Q. Physical activity readiness questionnaire. It's a questionnaire to determine how ready your clients are for physical activity. Eliminate those red flags. Find out about family history, things that they like. Go over their SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. If a client says they want to lose 10 pounds, that's a shitty goal. I want to know why you want to lose 10 pounds. Oh, it's because your boyfriend broke up with you 10 months ago and you're going to see him at a reunion and you want to be a smoke show? I got you covered. Let's pretend like we're working with Frank. Overweight beginner. He's not worked out. He's deconditioned. The average American in the United States as a dude, 191 pounds. Most people put on 35 plus pounds during COVID. We're consuming over 3,500 calories. I'm taking all of that data in, knowing those statistics, but I'm going to gather information from Frank. Ask great questions. Frank, what do you like to do when you train? In high school, what did you do? Are you following certain workouts or plans online that you're interested in doing? Tell me more about what success looks like working with me 6 months from now. You're planting little seeds in Frank's mind. You just let him know that 6 months from now, we're going to be training. So when it comes down to the sales at the end, it's a lot easier because he's bought in. After learning about Frank, because he's talking the majority of the time, at least 70%, we're going to go and do some basic measurements. We're going to do grip strength, blood pressure, if you want. I love blood pressure because most trainers don't take it. Frank, they call it the silent killer for a reason. Let's throw this sucker on there, see where your blood pressure's at. Holy shit, 150 over 100? They call it the silent killer for a reason. Frank, you're about to have a heart attack. Anything you've been doing today, some weird drugs or anything I should be aware of? Because this is not good. You need to go to the doc ASAP because I don't want you to have a heart attack during my assessment. You are now setting yourself up as the professional because most trainers are just going to show some shitty workout. They're going to annihilate them with some ladders and Bosu ball backflips, stuff that doesn't get them results. When you do blood pressure, you are acting in the capacity of which you are a medical professional because we're at the front lines of defense. Worst case scenario, you send him to a doc because he has tachycardia, a resting heart rate greater than 100. If it's 125 or 85, Great, Frank. A little high, but I can still take you through a workout. What is it normally? When was the last time you were at the doc? I would love to reach out to them, let them know you're working with me. Those are networking opportunities. When it comes to pain, if you see that on the assessment, whole nother assessment process because you have a physical therapist on your team because you're a qualified personal trainer. If it's an athlete, total different process. But we're going off of a beginner, basic general population. I ask him if he wants to do grip strength and measurements. I don't make people feel uncomfortable. I'm a personality on YouTube. I do this shit to piss you guys off. In person, I'm very calm, collected. I mirror that individual. If you want to do grip strength, it's fun because most people don't realize the importance of this. Trainers today with the whole longevity initiative, we're going to do a 15-minute VO2 max test. Frank is overweight. He doesn't care about his VO2 max. You don't need to make him feel bad. Hey, Frank, let's hop on the scale. He knows he's a fat ass. That's what he's thinking. You're not saying it, but that's the realistic aspect of this environment in this meetup. So you need to use your head. And if Frank is overweight and he's insecure because you discover that in that initial process, you don't have to do weight. You don't have to do body fat. The more negative things that you are coming up with, he's thinking of you as a prick. This guy over here with the belt buckle is telling me how bad I am at everything. Why am I going to sign up with him? It needs to be a positive experience. Do measurements if you like. I like doing arms, do chest, belly button for dudes, hips and thighs if you'd like. It depends. You will have some people say, I want my body fat tested. If you're at Lifetime, they have the little in-body machine that costs like $12,000. It's a nice piece of equipment and you can then show him that data. But I don't like my clients to feel like shit. That's why being positive is so important during this whole assessment process because our clients are not like us, not like you. We're fucking psychopaths. We love this shit. We carry water bottles around with us and we're planning out our programs a month ahead. We go on vacation, we're working out 6 a.m. Your clients don't do that. They hate this stuff. So we need to make it an enjoyable process. So you need to listen and be empathetic for that individual on the other side. What does Frank do? These are all important things to gather. So when you take them through the workout, you are building that rapport and the sales process is so much easier. After about 10 to 15 minutes, it always depends. I've done the discovery process for as long as 60 minutes. I let the client talk. When it's appropriate, now we're going to get into a workout. We're going to start with a general warm-up. Nothing crazy, foam rolling for 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, your client's going to be really excited to pay you $150 for spending a third or a fifth of that whole entire workout fucking foam rolling. Don't do that shit. Add value. Do some soft tissue if you feel like it's appropriate, but we're not dealing with pain. It's general pop. Have them stand on one leg, get some flexion, go through those 10 checkpoints of human movement, ankle, knee, hip, lumbar, thoracic, cervical, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Do some breathing drills. Get into all planes of motion. It doesn't need to be crazy. 3 minutes, and then you're going to get into the CCA. That's taking a core movement pattern based on what Frank wants. Most dudes want upper body to lose 10, 15 pounds. So deliver that. What did you like to do in high school? What did you like to do pre-COVID? Find those patterns, and then you're going to take them through a circuit. The first C will be what he wants to achieve. If a guy wants some chesticles, we're going to be doing a horizontal push. Then complement that with some rows. We can do some squats, some hinge, some unilateral, which are lower body. But I typically will put those lower body patterns at the end of a workout for bros. He's overweight. Smoking him, having a heart attack during that assessment isn't the goal. I want to empower him. So do things that he likes. So you do a press here, do a pull here, and then do an accessory. The accessory is something that he likes, he wants to feel. If a genie were to pop out of a lamp right now and give you one magical body part, keep it PC, Frank, what would that be? If he wants giant arms or traps or abs, the accessory is an isolation movement where he feels it. That's playing the game. You have to think of the core movement patterns like you're building a cake. You need the flour, you need the eggs, that's the base, but it doesn't taste very good. The frosting, that's the cherry on top. That's what separates you from everyone else. The accessories aren't going to get him the physique he wants. It's the core movement patterns with optimal overload intention because that's what drives hypertrophy and strength, optimal motor unit recruitment. It's a beginner. So we're doing 10 to 15 reps, strengthen ligaments and tendons, focus on neuromuscular control, good form. I love doing dumbbell presses here, followed by dumbbell rows. A split row saves the lower back. It's very low back friendly, 10 to 15 reps, and let's do some planks. Do that for 3 rounds. So dumbbell press into a dumbbell pull, and then do that plank exercise. Press, pull, abs, press, pull, abs, 3 rounds, then you move to the next one. For that second circuit, we're gonna do another push because that's what he wants to focus on. We're gonna do some push-ups. Maybe we do bench press. It depends on what you learned. Complement that with a pull. Let's do some pull-ups or an Aussie. It's regressed. And then we're gonna do some arms. Let's do some lateral raises. Maybe you wanna throw in a transitional. You can put those as the accessory. You do a farmer's carry. When it comes to jumping, we typically won't do that the first month for general pop because we need to strengthen the foundation. We'll do 3 rounds of that, and at the end, that's when we're gonna incorporate some legs. So we're gonna do a goblet squat, followed by a military press landmine, and then we'll do a farmer's carry. The accessory can always change per workout, but the main core pattern based on what you discover is what you're gonna focus on and do every single time and overload because that's what's gonna get them the results. And let me just reiterate why I don't like doing legs on every circuit for a full body workout for dudes, because they are not conditioned for it. Most guys will do straight sets. So even if it's an intermediate, this would still be challenging for him, but he's a beginner. So I wanna keep it user-friendly. And when you're doing upper body push and pull, and then you do some more push and pull with some arms, if you do triceps here, do biceps down there, the accessory is where you wanna get the pump. You will find that a squat into a military press, into a carry is gonna be taxing. I'd much rather be taxing at the end. That's when I get his heart rate up there. Maybe we shorten the rest periods. Get that sweat going, the burn, because then you're gonna sit down and talk about training with you. So if you have a few minutes left over, you can do some metabolic conditioning, ski erg, some walking, running, whatever is appropriate. It all depends on time. Ask him, how we doing, Frank? You got some left over in the tank? Do you wanna get after it and do some metabolic conditioning, some med ball slams and some ski erg and some running? Chris, I'm smoked. That was such a great workout. Awesome, Frank. Let's go sit down now and talk about training. You get him some water. If you work at Lifetime or Equinox, get him a smoothie. Order it on your app. Give it to him. Have him sip on that at the end. You sit down, you look at him in the eyes, and you present a solution for what he wants. Remember up here, we talked about what does success look like working with me 6 months from now. So you ask Frank, how great was that? Oh my God. We did those 28s. I've never heard of those before. Holy shit, I got a crazy pump. That was phenomenal, Chris. Okay, Frank, how many times a week would you like to train with me? Option A, he's gonna give you an exact number, or option B, he's gonna say, what do you think? If it's option A and he says 3 times, you're gonna say 12 sessions cost X, 72 cost X minus 10%. How would you like to pay for it, Frank? And you smile. You don't say, I know it's kind of expensive. I can lower the payments if you want. You do not backtrack. You are a professional. You're qualified. You are worth what you charge. You present it and then you wait. If he asks, I don't know, Chris, what do you suggest? I'm going to say 6 times because do you think your client's going to get better shape working out 6 times a week or 1? The more he shows up and is under my care, the faster the results are going to come. And your clients can't afford it if you provide that value. Let's use an analogy if you were to go to a nice restaurant. The presentation, the professionalism, it is there. They greet you with the smile. The place looks amazing. The whole experience is awesome. The waiter's gonna ask you, what would you like to eat today? Why don't you tell us your specials? You should get the surf and turf. It's the best on the menu, I guarantee it. It's the most expensive. And then you check on them, you provide that service, you ask how they're doing, and then you give them the bill. The member, the customer isn't going to barter how much it costs. Can I get $10 off? I was thinking it was gonna be $30. No, the expectations are very clear. It's the same here. You deliver an amazing experience and they're gonna buy you. Trainers are insecure because they're thinking about their bank account. Do not think about your credit card debt or your $200 car payment. Your clients have thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of dollars. They can afford you. That's why they showed up. So you present the solution, and if he says no, you say, great, what were you expecting when you came in to work with a trainer today, Frank? What is in your budget? You have a conversation. Worst case scenario, he can't afford it. You put him into your pipeline, you follow up, you continue to give free sessions. if you're trying to build your book of business, because the more you train, the more confidence you're going to get. Have him leave you reviews. Have him bring you some whiskey. What does he do? How can he provide something for you in exchange for your amazing workouts? You are a qualified trainer. You rinse and repeat. Every month, the program is going to be a little different, but as you get stronger, you're going to progress. You can get into some PAP training, some post-activation potentiation. You're going to be going heavier. But for beginners, we keep the intensity low, strengthen ligaments and tendons, have them keep on showing up. Consistency is the most important thing. And before you know it, you're going to have a full book of business charging $200 an hour, because that's what we do at Show Up. It's all about showing up. And remember, big biceps are better than small ones, and keep showing up. Favorite trainer with a belt buckle,